Carcassonne, a majestic fortified city in southern France, stands as a testament to over 2,500 years of military, political, and architectural history. Located in the Occitanie region, it has become one of the most visited historic sites in Europe, celebrated for its imposing double-walled fortifications, 52 towers, and a history that spans from ancient times through the Middle Ages. The story of Carcassonne is interwoven with invasions, dynastic changes, legends, and restorations, making it not only an architectural wonder, but also a symbol of the resilience and evolution of a region that has witnessed some of France's most significant historical events. Early beginnings from the Gauls to the Roman Empire. The origins of Carcassonne date back to the 6th century BCE, when it was a hill fort, or oppidum, constructed by the Gauls, who had settled in this fertile region. As a settlement strategically located between the Iberian Peninsula and Gaul, the early inhabitants recognized the defensive advantages of its elevated location near the Aude River. It provided them with a vantage point for controlling trade and travel across southwestern France. Its early purpose was thus primarily strategic, a natural stronghold used for defense and oversight of surrounding lands. By the 1st century BCE, the settlement came under Roman control as they expanded into Gaul. Carcassonne, then known as Carcasso, was incorporated into the Roman Empire under Julius Caesar's campaigns. The Romans, skilled engineers and military strategists, began fortifying the city with a series of stone walls, the remnants of which form the basis of Carcassonne's inner defenses. Under Roman rule, Carcassonne became a vital hub due to its proximity to the Via Aquitania, an important Roman road connecting the Mediterranean Sea with the Atlantic Ocean. This network fostered trade and military movement across the Roman provinces, reinforcing Carcassonne's role as a critical military post. Carcassonne flourished under Roman governance, becoming a prominent center for trade, military operations, and cultural exchange. Roman architecture, governance structures, and social systems were firmly embedded in the city's development, laying the foundation for its transformation into a formidable fortress city. The Visigoths and early medieval era. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century, Carcassonne, like many other regions in Europe, fell into turmoil as various barbarian tribes vied for control. By 462 CE, the Visigoths, a Germanic people who had established themselves in southwestern Gaul, took control of Carcassonne. They further fortified the city, recognizing its value as a defensive bastion. Under Visigothic rule, Carcassonne became a vital stronghold against the expanding Frankish kingdom to the north. During this period, Carcassonne's defenses were enhanced. The Visigoths added to the existing Roman walls, reinforcing the city to withstand sieges. Its fortifications became an integral part of defending Visigothic territories from Frankish invasions led by King Clovis I in the early 6th century. While the Visigoths managed to hold Carcassonne for several decades, the city became a focal point in the shifting power dynamics of the early medieval world, caught between the advancing Franks and various southern threats. Arab occupation and the legend of Dame Carcas. The Visigoths' control over Carcassonne waned in the 8th century with the expansion of the Umayyad Caliphate into southern France. In 725 CE, the city was captured by the Arabs, marking the beginning of a brief period of Islamic rule. The legend of Dame Carcas, one of Carcassonne's most enduring and colorful stories, is said to have originated during this time. According to local folklore, Charlemagne, the king of the Franks, laid siege to Carcassonne in an attempt to recapture it from the Arab occupiers. The siege dragged on, and supplies inside the city began to run low. Dame Carcas, a Saracen noblewoman, devised a cunning plan to save the city. She ordered the last remaining pig to be fed with the last of the city's grain and had it thrown over the walls. When Charlemagne's troops saw the well-fed animal, they believed that the city had plenty of provisions left and called off the siege. As Charlemagne's forces retreated, the city's bells rang out in victory. One of Charlemagne's men reportedly exclaimed, "Carcassonne," or "Carcass is ringing," giving rise to the name Carcassonne. Though this legend adds a romanticized layer to Carcassonne's history, it reflects the city's ability to withstand siege warfare and the cleverness of its defenders. The story of Dame Carcas has since become a central part of the city's folklore, symbolizing both resilience and ingenuity. the Carolingian era, and the rise of the Trencavel dynasty. By 759 CE, the Franks under Pepin the Short finally managed to reclaim Carcassonne from the Arab forces. With the return of Christian rule, the city became integrated into the Carolingian Empire. Carcassonne experienced a period of consolidation, during which its fortifications were maintained and strengthened. In the 11th century, Carcassonne came under the control of the Trencavel family, a powerful Occitan noble dynasty that ruled as viscounts over several territories in southern France. The Trencavel period marked an era of prosperity and expansion for Carcassonne. The family invested in enhancing the city's defenses and constructed the Château Comtal, the Count's Castle, around 1130 CE, which became a central feature of Carcassonne's fortifications. The Trencavels also sponsored the construction of religious buildings, most notably the Basilica of Saint-Nazaire, which remains one of the city's most important architectural landmarks. The Trencavel dynasty's independent rule came to a dramatic end in the early 13th century during the Albigensian Crusade. This crusade, initiated by Pope Innocent III, was aimed at eradicating the Cathar heresy, a Christian dualist movement that had gained a strong foothold in the Languedoc region, including Carcassonne. In 1209, the crusading army, led by Simon de Montfort, captured the city after a short siege. Raymond Roger Trencavel, the Viscount of Carcassonne, was imprisoned and died in captivity, marking the end of the Trencavel rule. The city was then incorporated into the French crown, solidifying royal control over the Languedoc region. Carcassonne under the French crown. Following the fall of the Trencavels, Carcassonne became an important strategic asset for the French monarchy, particularly in its efforts to consolidate power in the south. Recognizing the city's military significance, King Louis IX, St. Louis, and later his successors, including Philip III and Philip IV, invested heavily in expanding and fortifying Carcassonne's defenses. They added a second set of walls, creating the iconic double-walled system that still stands today. The construction of the Narbonnaise Gate and the other fortified gates further enhanced the city's ability to withstand sieges. The improvements made during this period transformed Carcassonne into one of the most formidable fortresses in medieval Europe. During the 100 Years' War between France and England, 1337-1453, Carcassonne's impregnable defenses ensured that it remained a crucial stronghold for the French crown. Though the city faced numerous sieges, its walls were never successfully breached. Decline and restoration in the modern era. By the 17th century, the military significance of Carcassonne began to decline, largely due to changes in political borders and advancements in military technology, such as the use of cannons, which rendered medieval walls less effective. The Treaty of the Pyrenees in 1659, which concluded hostilities between France and Spain, further diminished the city's strategic importance as it moved away from the front lines of conflict. As a result, Carcassonne fell into disrepair. By the early 19th century, its fortifications were nearly demolished, with the French government considering plans to dismantle the medieval city entirely. However, a campaign to preserve Carcassonne, led by the architect Eugène Viollet-le-Duc, saved it from destruction. Viollet-le-Duc embarked on an extensive restoration project between 1853 and 1879, meticulously reconstructing parts of the city, although some of his changes, such as the pointed slate roofs on the towers, have been criticized for their inauthenticity. Despite the controversies surrounding some of Viollet-le-Duc's work, his efforts ensured that Carcassonne survived into the modern era as one of the best preserved examples of medieval fortification. In 1997, the Cité de Carcassonne was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to its historical, cultural, and architectural significance. The modern legacy of Carcassonne. As Carcassonne emerged from its near ruin in the 19th century, the city began a new chapter in its long and complex history. Viollet-le-Duc's extensive restoration efforts, despite occasional criticism for inaccuracy, helped preserve the medieval city's distinct architectural identity. His work reinvigorated interest in Carcassonne, drawing scholars, architects, and tourists from across the world. Today, the fortified city serves not only as a symbol of medieval military prowess, but also as a monument to the resilience of the human spirit, surviving wars, conquests, and near destruction. The preserved double walls of Carcassonne, reinforced towers and striking gates, including the iconic Narbonnaise Gate, are a physical reminder of the city's importance during times of conflict. These fortifications speak to a time when southern France was a battleground, with Carcassonne standing as a key defensive outpost against external threats, whether they were Visigoths, Arabs, or English forces during the 100 Years' War. Tourism and cultural heritage. Today, Carcassonne stands as a key destination in southern France, receiving millions of visitors every year. The charm of this ancient citadel draws not only history enthusiasts, but also families, students, and architects eager to experience one of Europe's most well-preserved examples of medieval architecture. Visitors walk through the same fortified walls that withstood countless sieges, feeling transported back to a time when knights defended their strongholds and noble families ruled over the lands below. Beyond its architecture, Carcassonne is an important cultural site. In the summer, the city becomes the backdrop for historical reenactments, festivals and performances that celebrate its medieval heritage. Events like La Cité des Lumières, where Carcassonne is illuminated at night, or the medieval fairs hosted within its walls, bring the city's rich history to life for thousands of spectators. Every July 14th, a stunning fireworks display lights up the sky, drawing tourists from all over the world, reinforcing the city's image as a living symbol of France's medieval past. Carcassonne's preservation also has broader cultural significance as a reminder of the necessity of historical conservation efforts. It exemplifies how thoughtful restoration and historical recognition can preserve not only a city's structure but also its cultural identity, allowing future generations to connect with a shared past. 2. Carcassonne in popular culture. In modern times, Carcassonne has transcended its historical roots and become a symbol in popular culture as well. The name Carcassonne is now associated with a beloved board game that replicates the process of building cities, roads and farms, inspired by the medieval landscape of southern France. The game, named after the fortified city, is internationally recognized, further entrenching Carcassonne's fame in a new medium. Carcassonne has also featured in numerous films and television series, offering an atmospheric backdrop for medieval-themed productions. Its dramatic towers and winding cobbled streets serve as an ideal filming location for historical and fantasy genres, further embedding the city in the cultural imagination beyond its historical and architectural significance. A symbol of southern France's complex history, Carcassonne's story is deeply intertwined with the broader historical and political shifts in the Occitanie region of France. Its strategic importance from antiquity through the Middle Ages reflects the complex tapestry of southern French history, a region marked by its distinct cultural identity, positioned between the influence of the Mediterranean world and the rest of Europe. The city's involvement in significant historical episodes, such as the Albigensian Crusade, demonstrates the often violent imposition of religious and political authority in medieval Europe. The Crusade, initiated by Pope Innocent III, aimed to suppress the Cathar heresy, leading to bloodshed and destruction across the Languedoc region. Carcassonne's siege and subsequent fall to Simon de Montfort's crusading army serve as a reminder of the power struggles that shaped medieval France. The city's integration into the French crown following this period marks the gradual consolidation of southern France into the wider French kingdom, a critical point in French history. In this way, Carcassonne is more than just an architectural marvel. It is also a living testament to the centuries of cultural, religious, and political evolution that have shaped southern France. Its story echoes the region's ability to endure and adapt to changing empires, ideologies, and times. The enduring legacy of Carcassonne. Carcassonne's journey from a hill fort in ancient Gaul through Roman expansion, Visigothic defenses, medieval sieges, and near demolition in the modern era paints a vivid picture of the endurance and resilience of historical landmarks. Over centuries, it has been a crucial site of defense and survival in southern France, representing the broader struggles of the region's people to maintain autonomy and adapt to the forces of empire and religion that sought to control it. Restored from near destruction in the 19th century, Carcassonne now stands as one of the most iconic symbols of medieval fortification and French heritage. A visit to Carcassonne is not only a walk through medieval history, but also a tribute to the preservation of cultural identity through architecture. It continues to inspire modern audiences, from historians to tourists, to players of board games, symbolizing the fusion of history, legend, and the cultural evolution of southern France. The city's remarkable walls and towers, having withstood the test of time, remind us of the importance of preserving our past, ensuring that future generations can connect with the legacies left behind by those who shaped the world we live in today. Thank you for spending time with us through Spookscope today. Feel free to share your knowledge and wisdom in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, my dear spooker, stay curious